I raised both hands and tried to move a distant mountain peak with my mind. People laughed at me. I let out a low growl. The next second, the ground began to shake and the mountain peak started to tremble. My brother tried to stop me, but the earthquake continued. Wooden planks collapsed one after another, and people fled their homes in panic. Then the shaking stopped. I looked down at my own hands, completely stunned, unable to believe what had just happened. People looked toward the mountain. It seemed to have moved a little closer. They believed I had supernatural powers, and I became famous. Because of this news, I received a letter from the White House. They invited me to help bring an end to the Second World War. I did not hesitate and went straight to the seaside, calling out in the direction of the battlefield because my father was out there. But when I came home full of excitement, my mother held me in her arms and told me my father had been captured by the enemy and his fate was unknown. I refused to believe it and kept going to the seaside every day, trying to save my father. More and more people came to watch, and they began to believe I would create a miracle. One day, I rode my bicycle to the seaside as usual and found everyone staring at me with excitement. I was confused. Suddenly, a villager stopped me and held out a newspaper. The greatest known force in human history had been unleashed with the code name Little Boy. I shouted with joy. The war was finally over. Father would be coming home soon, but what awaited me was bad news. After Japan's defeat, word came that prisoners of war had been massacred, and my father's name appeared on the list of the dead. When my mother heard this news, she wept and fell to her knees. At my father's funeral, I cried out loud. From that day on, there was no longer a smile on my face. My supernatural power had only ever been a misunderstanding. Just when I thought I had lost my father forever, my brother suddenly ran over and embraced me, excitedly saying that our father was actually still alive. I took out the gift I had prepared for my father. My father was deeply moved and held me tightly in his arms. It turned out that true power is not the ability to change the world, but the courage to hold on to hope in the face of despair and to learn to cherish what you have in the midst of loss.